Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Forever Young podcast. I am your host, Jahlani, and I'm not alone today. I finally have friends. I finally have a guest. Now, guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Tabitha.
Yes, she's here, and it's finally good to have somebody to talk to, because these past few recordings, it's been pretty lonely just talking to myself.
All by myself.
I want to talk. I just want to talk about random things, but sometimes it gets a little bit lonely. So it's good to finally have somebody here to chat with, and it'll be a lot more entertaining that way. So if you are watching this on YouTube, please don't be afraid to hit that like button. Help support this series. I'm trying to make some money, y'all. Help me pay my rent that I don't have.
Subscribe,
Please. And I promise you, you won't have a bad time. We're just gonna have some interesting discussions. And if you're also watching this on Spotify and Google Play, rate it up. I don't know how the rating system works over there. I'm new. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about today. And we're going to start things off with that. The Avengers Endgame is finally the top grossing movie of all time. Bam, bam, bam. Now there's also a caveat to that I did find. And if you hear typing, that is because I don't have this ready. And I gotta find the story. But I did find out that the Avengers Endgame was the top grossing movie, except it's not. And how you figure? Gone with the Wind, if you take into inflation, is still the top grossing movie of all time.
That doesn't surprise me at all, actually.
Have you seen Gone with the Wind? Because I haven't.
I actually haven't seen either movie, to be honest.
Hold up, wait a minute, pause right now. You have not seen Endgame yet.
I have not seen Endgame yet.
Did you have any intentions on doing so?
It's one of those things that if I get to it, I get to it. It's not one of those ones that I was racing to go out to the theaters to see.
See, I was the complete opposite. Was I even there day one? It was either like day one or two. I was in there. I had to see it. Like, after 11 years though of Marvel goodness, you gotta be in there.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and I do plan on seeing it at some point. Just, it wasn't one of those things that I was like, oh my god, I have to see it in theaters or I'm gonna die.
Voice cracking even though I already went through puberty. How is your Marvel fanness with the movies?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably say around a 6. Some of them are really, really good.
Gotcha.
Some of them are kind of eh.
What would you say? All right, let's see. What would you say are the good ones and the ones?
I really liked the first Avengers movie. I liked the Iron Man movies. I thought
like all of them, even 3, because 3 gets kind of a bad rap.
Yeah, it does get a bad rep. That one's a little bit more guilty pleasure than anything. But yeah, the first Thor movie was really, really good. I really liked that one, just because it gave such a good introduction to his character.
Yeah. So, all these Marvel movies, Marvel Studios did, they made nerdy stuff like comic books more accessible to the casual movie-going audience, especially with their effects and their storytelling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they got a lot more people interested. And like I met some people I would even expect to be like Marvel fans or even fans of the comics in general. Just based on how they executed most of these movies.
I feel like they definitely made what was seen before as like being nerdy and like a social turnoff as more of a mainstream thing. Now, like, nerd cred actually gets you somewhere as opposed to just being like, you know, bullied in high school type thing.
For real, that's been going on for like being nerd has been going on in an up and up for like honestly since like the past decade or so.
Absolutely, nerds are the new jocks.
Shout out to that, even though I refuse to throw somebody in a locker because it smells in a locker. And the only thing that belongs in lockers are books. And
Exactly.
yep. Speaking of lockers, it's kind of a weird story, but I feel like I gotta share it because it just now reminded me of it. So, and I'm probably remembering this wrong, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. But in high school, I just remember that they had search dogs coming through in the lockers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, never mind. I remember this right. Oh yes, it's coming back to me. And apparently they found cocaine in the locker. In one of my schools. And granted, my school wasn't terrible. It wasn't the best. It was like a regular public school. It got a job done, but I was not expecting anybody to find cocaine in a locker. At least
I went to a really small school it was very small town, very, very small town school.
Mm-hmm.
Basically the shoebox of a high school. And I remember the dogs coming through our school as well, and several kids getting arrested on peddling meth.
Oh, whoa. Jeez, I didn't know. Yours a little bit. I was gonna say more high scale, but meth isn't the high scale drug. It's more meth is more on the lower end. It screws you up.
It kind of makes sense though, because I did at the time live a little bit closer to the meth capital of the West Coast. So
I gotcha. But going back, well, bringing it back into the comic scene, what would you say, since we're going through all these, talk about Marvel, what would you say your favorite Marvel character is? I know your favorite hero altogether, but what would you say your favorite Marvel hero is?
oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm making you think now.
See, that's really, really hard because I love Thor's character in general. Is just like Nordic obliviousness. It makes him so like lovable.
Yeah, he's a lovable oaf. Like Thor's personality, his jovial personality gets you.
Boy.
But when it gets serious, it's smackdown time.
I think that like I feel like there's almost a genre between heroes.
How so?
Like
What?
there's the comic relief heroes.
Oh yeah, you mean like character tropes, or that kind of thing? Gotcha.
Exactly. Like, you know, Ant-Man and Deadpool and
Oh, yeah.
those characters are meant to be like kind of funny characters and stuff like that.
Facts.
And then there's like the kind of dopey heroes that just end up heroes, and then there's the like reluctant heroes like Logan, for example.
Yep.
I'm a huge Spider-Man nerd, and I'm a huge
Yeah, everybody loves Spider-Man.
Spider-Man rocks.
Everybody loves Spider-Man except New York.
Yeah. I don't care what the unpopular opinion on those old movies are. I've loved Spider-Man ever since the like the old cartoon, the 90s cartoon. I say old, but
Hey, we're getting old. It's about to be the 1990s is almost 30 years ago.
but I'm a huge Yeah, that would be so hard to pick. That's like picking my favorite Pokemon. It's hard.
Hey, there's almost 1,000 of them, but I guess I'll say mine while you're, I guess, still thinking. Mine is the Incredible Hulk. Like, granted, even though I haven't seen it, his his MCU movie did horribly. It was one of the fewer Marvel movies that did horribly in the with MCU studios. But I just always loved the Hulk's character. I guess just me being a boy, mindless violence. Literally, you just have somebody who's just constantly angry all the time, just getting ready to. He just wants to destroy stuff. And one of my favorite games on PlayStation 2 was Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, I think it was called. And that's literally all you did with the game. You have a few missions, but all those missions were just basically destroy this, obliterate that, decimate everything. So that's what. And ever since then, Hulk's been my go-to. And I guess you just like what you wish to achieve because I'm 5'10", 130 less pounds. I'm scrawny. He's strong. It's something just something I aspire to be one day.
I love the X-Men.
Yep, they're pretty freaking cool.
Such a big part, especially again the older cartoons were such a big part of my childhood. I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of the X-Men movies actually in theaters. Those are ones that I have. Really
I haven't seen those in theaters, but I have seen those on DVD. Oh, a lot of, not most of them, but I've seen enough of them.
Oh, so it would be. On the one hand, I feel like if we're talking movies, Robert Downey Jr. really brings Iron Man's character to life.
Like,
he is Iron Man.
Yeah, I feel like every time somebody talks about Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man, it's always that he embodies Iron Man perfectly. Like, no other actor can be Tony Stark.
No. And I feel like if they try to remake it,
no, they can't.
It's gonna fall short.
I highly doubt they would do that. No matter how much money they make, he's just so iconic and memorable as Tony Stark. This performance was spot on. That they it'll be an insult to try to replace him.
Yeah, it would be. They'd be hard pressed to find somebody that could do half the job as he could.
Like, I'm not super like savvy on the comics, but do you know if there was another person who was Iron Man besides Tony Stark and his wife? Like who took the mantle as Iron Man?
I'm not actually sure.
The only reason I bring that up is because let's say Captain America, Steve Rogers did it, and Chris Evans did his thing by playing Captain America, but there was other characters in the comic books who took the role as Captain America, so they can replace him. So
similar to like DC's Green Lantern is what
like his Green Lantern, or even sometimes it's Batman, because Batman wasn't always Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, Batman Beyond was one of my favorites.
So I just want to say, like, if the mantle of Iron Man was towards another character, they could have somebody else, but I'm pretty sure it's always been Tony Stark.
I think so too. Like, in theory, I think they probably could, like, pass the suit on to a protege or something if they wanted to do that. But I think that would be so tropey and overdone, and it would probably just fall flat on its face.
Yeah,
Tony Stark is Robert Downey Jr. And there's just no separating the two. You
really can't. But
I think
go on.
My I think my favorite superhero has to be Wolverine, Logan. But I think my favorite superhero as far as the movies go has to be Iron Man.
Gotcha. That just made me think of a point is about Wolverine. Like, aside from Spider-Man, you could argue that Wolverine could be the mascot of Marvel.
Exactly. Especially in, like, older days, too. Especially in the 90s.
Like, everybody knows Wolverine. Everybody knows who Logan is. His involvement with the X-Men. Now, if the MCU decided or ever got the rights to produce the X-Men, then pretty sure they would get a lot more respect and the movies would do a lot better.
Probably.
Or at least in the box office, not just performance-wise, but critically.
I think so as well. They could definitely do a lot more with that.
Because a lot of the heroes I just first knew about were the X-Men. You got Cyclops, Professor X, Colossus, Wolverine,
Rogue.
Storm, Rogue, Magneto, Nightcrawler is one of my favorite heroes for no freaking reason. He wasn't even one of the best heroes, but I love Nightcrawler.
I hear that a lot, actually. I feel like Nightcrawler is one of the most underrated heroes.
He is underrated. I really don't know exactly what he can do. I didn't know he can teleport. He's demon. His mother is Mystique, and I don't know who his father remember who his father was, but Nightcrawler gets a lot of hate.
Or Mystique was just wild. She was a wild character.
That's wild card indeed. Alright, so who would you say is your least favorite hero? Before we move on to the next topic.
So I feel like this is gonna be a really unpopular opinion.
It's alright. We got a segment for that, but let loose.
It's a toss-up between Black Widow and Captain America.
Oh, whoa. I'm not disagreeing with you, but those are some heavy hitters, and we're gonna need some explanation.
Well, for her, I feel like she's just, and this is kind of funny coming from me, but I feel like she's over-sexualized for no apparent reason.
I mean, she is a spy though, and using her sexuality like that is essentially a tool for her.
Well, absolutely. Like, it can definitely be fantastic for espionage and stuff like that, but they don't give it appropriate purpose in a lot of the instances.
Gotcha.
And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's so many other female heroes that are just not as
just not as, to put it tactfully, overt as Black Widow.
Yeah, I feel like she has a lot more hype than she deserves necessarily. Like,
I can respect that. Like, aside from being a super spy, there's really not much she does. She's skilled in hand-to-hand combat, and she has and this is just from the comics, from what I've read. She has essentially a watered-down version of the super soldier serum. She's not super strong, but she doesn't age as fast, and that's essentially all she has going for her in terms of superhuman ability. Everything else is either gadgets or martial arts.
And to be fair, I really only know her from the movies.
Same.
I don't actually know her from the comics. So that might be partially writing, that might be partially the performance. There's a ton of variables there.
I mean, Scarlett Johansson is an attractive woman, so that's good. I'm pretty sure that plays into a part of it. Her character as a whole, that just her natural beauty as an actress. I can see how you can say she's over-sexualized. see what you say from that point. So what are your views on Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel is an interesting character. Really interesting character. There's a lot of controversy surrounding
Yeah,
that one.
I just asked because just going on the thought of female heroes. Super.
I loved her character design. Her
Yeah.
character design was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
I think that overall, I just think she's a way better character than Black Widow.
See, here's my unpopular opinion. I think I mentioned I know I mentioned it in one of the previous episodes, but I like Captain Marvel. I think Brie Larson did a great job in the movie and in the other movies that she was portrayed in. And I guess what a lot of people don't understand is that the reason why Captain Marvel didn't have as big as a role as she did in Endgame, I guess sort of spoiler, kind of not, but the reason she wasn't in there is because is that the producers didn't think Captain or weren't sure as to whether her solo movie would do well. So since they weren't sure, they didn't give her as big as a role as she probably could have. And I don't know, I didn't know a lot of people, especially a lot of people on the internet. I don't know why I'm saying people. A lot of men on the internet are like, I'm gonna just say it, like intimidated by her character. A lot of this toxic masculinity going around. They just, I don't know, they just don't like a strong female character, not taking no mess from nobody.
And to me, that sounds like more of a like paranoid business decision than it does having to do with actually being out there to write a good story, which is disappointing.
Yeah, coming from a logistics standpoint and from the back end, not in the movie, but actually, yeah, just coming from how they're gonna make money, how they're gonna be successful. But yeah, I can see where you're going. Now let's speak on Captain America real quick. I'm sort of with you. Captain America is nowhere near my favorite hero. Like I saw his movies, like I guess for the first time earlier this year, like Winter Soldier, the first Avenger. I only saw them by myself, like earlier this year before Endgame came out, and before that, I didn't see the hype in Captain America. He's just essentially a strong Olympian.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a human on steroids with a shield. I mean, sorry, go ahead.
That's another one where it's not that he's necessarily a bad character. It's just he's way overblown and kind of at least in the movies underwritten. Like, another unpopular opinion, but Civil War was an utter eye roll.
What? I enjoyed that, but hold on. I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish.
It was his predictable, stupid moves that caused so much of the strife in that.
Oh, I see. Okay. He essentially his character, his morals, I can see that.
Exactly. And this is not like dissing on the movie as far as an eye roll. This is like his role as a character in the movie.
All right, so just him in the movie. And
yes.
All right, gotcha. Because Civil War is a good one. Because you introduced Black Panther, Spider-Man came in, Ant-Man came in. Like that entire scene is like just amazing. But guess what makes why a lot of people like Captain America? Not necessarily his, I guess, quote unquote powers, but his character as a whole. Especially when he first introduced, he symbolized American strength, like, especially during World War II, all that stuff. And even today, people love them some America. So I don't know.
I think they also try to like ride that wave to avoid having to write more of a in-depth character for him sometimes.
Yeah, like there was mild. I'll say Captain America had mild character development as far as any other character introduced.
And I'm a sucker for character development, so that could just be on me.
I'm I'm with you. Everybody loves from Captain America. I respect him as a hero, but he is not. I wouldn't put him anywhere near my favorite. Alrighty, and that was a lot of superhero talk. Not gonna be mad about that. What is time to move on to our next segment, which is about the new. What's the game? What was I talking about? New app, Pokemon Masters, which is scheduled to be released soon. I don't know the date, but
Tell me about that. Tell me about that.
all right. So there's this. Okay, so I don't know too many details because when I saw the trailer, I guess I was at work and I couldn't. I don't know. I didn't hear the sound, but you're a Pokemon trainer, and no, you know what? I can just read it right here because I got it up. Never mind, it's the wrong one. But hold on. I'm just gonna say, here we go. Here's the summary. In Pokemon Masters, players will embark on a new adventure to form teams of trainers and their partner Pokemon and engage in the 3-on-3 real-time battles. On the island of Pasio, an all-new location of the Pokemon franchise, trainers from every Pokemon region gather to compete. In Pasio, the rules are battle very different, and the treasured bond between trainer and Pokemon is taken to the next level with Sync Pairs, a brand new combination of a trainer and their partner Pokemon. You know what? I keep wanting to saying Digimon because I've been playing a lot of Digimon lately, so I gotta keep correcting myself.
I know the feeling.
Alright, going on. Players can team up with duos such as Karina and Lucario, Brandon and Brendan from Ruby and Sapphire, Brandon and Trico, Clay and Kingdra, and many more. With all sorts of trainers on Pasio, there are sure to be some exciting and unexpected encounters in the new story. Okay, there's actually story in this, so what I'm getting from this, in addition to standard move play, sync moves, blah 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 blah. So essentially, what I'm getting from this is a Pokemon better. It's a better Pokemon Go. I'm guessing. Like you don't catch mons, but you're just. It's actually like the battling we wanted in Pokemon Go. They're adding to this game. Oh, it said it's August 29th when it getting released. Reading is fundamental.
Because this is my first time really hearing about it. Maybe I live under a rock, but
I know you're busy.
Sounds a lot like maybe taking kind of Pokemon Stadium aspect to a mobile app game, which would be really, really neat, especially if they could pull it off.
Yeah.
Because Pokemon Go was such a sensation. It was such a novelty. I personally still play Pokemon Go, but I know that it's lost a lot of its traction over the short span of time that it just became uninteresting to the general public. So it would be really, really neat if they could incorporate more aspects of Pokemon into mobile app games like that. So if you were to take like something like Pokemon Snap and make it into something like Pokemon Go, or Pokemon Stadium and make it into something like that, that would just be so... You could have fans that are in it for all kinds of reasons, like the original handheld Pokemon games. So many people are like, oh, I play it because it's super cute and I really love the little Pokemon, or oh, I like the strategy to it, or I like this aspect of it. Like, they could really... There's a lot of money to be made still in the industry with all the material that they still have.
Yep.
Especially if they, like, transport that to mobile games and stuff.
Yeah, but, like, Pokemon, like, is the number one... It's the number one media franchise in the world. Even above Mario, and I'm pretty sure over at Disney. Like, Pokemon is freaking...
Oh, yeah.
Pokemon is huge, and there's plenty of money to be made. And I was just reading this. So there is a story mode, and you'll earn 5 badges during the league. It has a professor, new villains, and it says new battle mechanics, which I'm curious to find out, because we already got a new mainstream Pokemon coming out with more mechanics. So there's a lot of Pokemon to be had this year.
I'm really excited about that. I am so stoked about that. Like, so many people are upset because they can't incorporate all the Pokemon, but that would put such unnecessary stress, and I'm excited to see what new things they come up with.
That's what people with sense would argue. Like, it's a new Pokemon game, so why not experience the new Pokemon that the Galar region has to offer? Experience those, find out what you like about them, and then later down the road, bring in your favorite Pokemon. Just because, okay, let's just say, for example, just because you like a Skarmory doesn't mean you have to use it in this new Pokemon game.
Exactly.
Like, we have, I don't know how many mons are gonna do. Let's just say, for lack of, make it simple, they had 100 mons. Why would you pass up the chance to use 100 new Pokemon when we already had 800 old ones? Like, again, a lot of them are your favorites, and a lot of them are actually, in a competitive scene, are good, but why not grow? Why stay in the past?
People just have such an aversion to change that they're so used to, like, being a poison team, or they're so used to being a grass type team, and they like using their particular Pokemon, that I feel like some people just have a hard time branching out when something new like that comes about. Like, you know, my favorite Pokemon is Umbreon, and yeah, I would be upset if they didn't have Umbreon, but not in a, like, I'm not gonna play this because it doesn't have my favorite Pokemon.
Hashtag boycott Pokemon.
It's more of a, oh, cool, I really hope they provide me with a different evolution that I like, or something like that, or some different water type. I really like water type Pokemon, so I'm excited to see what new water type Pokemon they come up with.
I'm gonna go to the Pokemon site right now, because they have they've introduced a lot of good Pokemon that been released already, and even I haven't seen any updates since the last trailer came out. But let's check these mons out. Yeah, like the new feature, Gigantamaxing. Like, I'm excited to see what that even is. Like, we have the starters: Grookey, Scorbunny, Sobble, all adorable. I'm not getting Grookey though. He looks, I don't know, he scares me. I'm getting Sobble, the water lizard thingy. We have the legends. I still don't know how I feel about the legends, so. Like, the one with the sword looks cool, but the one with the shield looks thick.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how they turn out.
Yeah, it's like, so far, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. We got 14 new mons out, and a lot of them are pretty cool. We got a Pokemon that's literally icing on a cake. Strawberry icing on a cake, and I like it, and I love it. And when the Gigantamax, it becomes like a 100 tier wedding cake. Like, it is. That's the exciting appeal about Pokemon, just the new possibilities, something new to explore.
I also think with the whole shield dog thing, that's kind of a nod to Dark Souls, and people are gonna be drawn to it because of that reason.
Word? Explain, cause I can't say I've dabbled in Dark Souls much.
Oh, what's his name? I haven't played a whole lot of Dark Souls. I've played a lot more Bloodborne than I have Dark Souls, to be honest. But I know Artorias has a dog or a wolf that uses a sword. And there's a whole bunch of lore behind that, and it's one of the most popular characters in Dark Souls.
Gotcha.
So I feel like they're like kind of making a nod to that, and a lot of people are gonna appreciate the Sith and Artorias comparison.
All right. Like, allusions to other games. If that's the case, it's always pretty freaking sweet. Because not just Nintendo out there, there's other games out there people you could play. But we're talking about Nintendo Game Freak's game right now. So, essentially the premise of Pokemon Masters, you just travel around Paseo with the 3-man team. It's you and 2 other legit, like, established Pokemon trainers, like Brock, Misty, who blue, red, and you just form the best team to try to win you 5 badges and win the league. So my question to you is, who would you have as your team? What 3-man, including yourself, what 3-man squad would you assemble?
Well, I definitely have red.
All right. And what was it? And what would you say his ace Pokemon would be? Because it's just you and one other Pokemon partner.
Oh boy.
Because if it's Pikachu, then it better be a strong Pikachu.
I mean, Pikachu, yes, but also, like... That one I would also base off of, like, what I was doing, what Pokemon I had, because I'd want to pick a Pokemon. If you could pick a Pokemon for them to have...
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
You'd want them to have something that would accent whatever you're using.
Yep.
So if I was using a water type, say I was using a Vaporeon.
Shout out to Vaporeon.
I probably want him to use Charizard or something, maybe even a rock type that's not sensitive to electricity.
Yep, something that could take his weaknesses. Or
I would probably. That's probably what I'd do. I'd probably have Brock for his Onix, and I'd have Red for his Charizard, and then I would use a water.
All right. Like on the water vibes, because I go straight water all the time, unless I'm using my Gardevoir. Shout out to Gardevoir. But let's see. If I was, it will be. Let's say I'm in there, and I have my Gardevoir. I already got my Psychic Fairy ready to do work. I would have Flannery, because Flannery is my favorite gym leader. I don't care what anybody says. She might not have any significant role in the plot whatsoever, but I love Flannery. And it'll be her Torkoal, and not particularly the best, but I don't care. It would be me, Flannery, and Volkner from Gen 4 with his Luxray.
Yes.
Yes, I love me some Luxray. I always name mine either Kovu or Kiara. Shout out to Lion King 2.
Yes.
Yes. Speaking of Lion King, did you see the new one?
I haven't seen the new one yet, though I'm kind of excited to.
Do you have plans on seeing it?
I do plan to see it, absolutely.
Yeah, because I saw it last Saturday. Yes, I saw it last Saturday, and I will say, nostalgia was there. Like, I kid you not. I was sitting there, and I was in the front row. The only reason I'm in the front row because they got ottomans, and I'm lazy. I want to kick my feet up. So, I was in the front row, and I was just smiling for like the first 5-10 minutes. I couldn't stop because I loved every single second of it. It took me back.
And it's such an excellent opportunity for new younger generations to get a glimpse of that is such an ingrained part of, millennials in general, and just I'm excited for it. I know there's a lot of controversy with that one too, but I'm really, really excited to see it.
Yeah, no, a lot of people don't like remakes, and they feel like they'll ruin the original. I will say this, and it's not going to spoil the movie, but the Lion King played it safe. I'll say that they played it safe, and I guess I don't want to say this in a negative sense, but they pander to millennials, not necessarily millennials, but them and their kids, because a lot of adults our age are having kids and grew up with that movie, so it really catered to that group.
And it's such a bonding experience for the millennials that have kids that are taking them to see these movies.
Because the people behind me, they had their children. There's some who were babies. I don't know why you're bringing babies to a movie, because they're not gonna remember it. But even still, it was a good experience. I enjoyed what I saw. A lot of the performances, I want to say, a lot of performances were spot on. Like Mufasa, shout out to Mufasa. And there were some things I found
Well,
a.
they brought back the original voice actor for Mufasa.
Yep.
Which was neat.
Yep. James Earl Jones, Darth Vader, Mufasa. That voice. You, do you think anybody else could have played Mufasa? Or could have voiced him?
At the time, voice acting didn't garner as much stardom as it does these days.
Correct.
So I feel like back in the day, they probably could have cast somebody else and gotten away with it. But in this day and age, where there's such stardom that comes with voice acting, I feel like you need to be a lot more careful with who you select. It's kind of like how in the old 50s horror movies and stuff like that, the acting really didn't matter. They cast just anybody.
Really?
Anybody.
Yeah.
It did not matter. It was the story that they were trying to get across that mattered to them.
Yep.
So, in this day and age, I feel like star power definitely has a definitive point to casting.
Yeah, the reason I asked that question is because James Earl Jones and his performance of Mufasa was also a pivotal part of the original Lion King and how its impact overall. Like him teaching Simba about what it's like to be a king. Him teaching Simba who he truly is, even after death. Like that. Even though it was just voice acting, I feel like they told a good story, and James Earl Jones executed his role well enough. It felt impactful. It felt like your own dad. You do not want to disappoint Mufasa. Like when Simba disappointed him, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah. I feel like the 80s and 90s especially were when the voice acting, the necessity for good voice acting became so obvious because, like, in all the 50s movies, it wasn't the acting that was focused on, but good acting, especially good voice acting, can take a B movie to A status. It's really, really important. I feel like that's around the era when they started to realize, oh, hey, this is part of what's making us so successful. We should pay more attention to this.
Yeah, voice acting becoming, as times go on, more and more an art form. People want to execute it to tell. So when something with regular acting wasn't really necessary, you could still get that same impact with proper voice. Like, just go back to the example of The Lion King. Like that's in essence, The Lion King was a retelling of Shakespeare's Hamlet, and we're using animals. Obviously, the acting itself isn't going to sell it. It's the voices and the correct impact those voices can bring, and to execute to make the story resonate and be more impactful.
Exactly. As far as remakes go, I like remakes that are true to the source material of that they're trying to remake. I can appreciate reimagines though. I just wish people wouldn't call them remakes.
Like adaptations or stuff?
Exactly.
Yeah, they wouldn't necessarily be remakes, those would be more like necessarily reboots. Like, like I spoke about that on a previous or last episode. Like they're remaking Space Jam and calling it Space Jam 2. But in an interview, and I just read it off. I didn't actually see the interview, but I just read that they're trying to reboot the original movie, so it's not necessarily going to be a sequel to the first one. So like, why call it 2 when it's just going to be a remake or a reboot?
Exactly.
So like, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, sometimes you got to be careful what you label a remake or a sequel.
Because it can be so. If somebody goes into something with a certain perspective, they can lose a lot of good understanding of a movie because they walked in expecting one thing and then got something totally different.
Yep. Their expectations were set on this, and then they got something else, and they're like, and if what they got didn't meet or surpass their expectations, then they're not good. It's just not good.
This is kind of totally out of left field, but a good example of that is the Purge movies. I actually saw the first one expecting a horror movie, and when it wasn't a horror movie, it was just a suspense thriller. I was kind of like, oh, because they passed it off as that.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, I'm on with that with horror movies all the time. A lot of them are, at least in my opinion, bad because for one, they're not even scary. But they just, I don't know, have a high certain expectation for what a horror movie should be. There's a lot of things you can do in a horror movie. You don't have to do just one set thing. Like, for example, you don't have to just be a slasher film. You can just delve into a whole bunch of different things. But if I'm expecting to get scared, I better get scared.
Exactly, but when I went back to it and I actually watched it for the suspense thriller that it actually was, it definitely soared up to one of my top favorite movies.
Gotcha. Cause I still haven't seen The Purge, and it's not the one of the things like you said with Endgame. I'm not rushing to go see it, but I am curious about it, and I do want to check it out.
Exactly. It's just one of those things where perception, and preconceived notions can totally ruin the film-going experience if you're not on the right page with the writers or the director.
Yeah, I feel like it's going into that direction. I mean, I feel like they're in that kind of danger area in Hollywood now, because a lot of the movies they are making aren't even original. A lot of them are reboots, already stories that have been told, and if a lot of people go into those movies expecting something, and it doesn't meet that expectation, then those movies can flop quick.
Exactly, and if they're expecting a remake and you give them just a reboot, they're gonna be like, well, this isn't what I wanted.
Right. Oh, I love me some movies. 2019 has been a excellent year for movies. I went to the movies theater so many times. They've been taking all my money. Saw Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man. What else just came? Lion King. I'm pretty sure I saw something else. But 2019 has been a good one for movies. I'm not gonna lie. Aladdin. That's what I was gonna say. I saw that.
Yeah, Aladdin came out. Detective Pikachu came out.
Detective Pikachu. Haven't seen it, but heard nothing but good things. Spider-Man's Into the Spider-Verse. So like 2019 is that year for movies, I will say. And once I want to say these movies were Oscar worthy, so don't have to worry about that. But hey, shout out to 2019. Good movies.
Exactly.
But still, I guess sort of still on that same topic, but not really. There's a hashtag going around that I just found out, which is freaking hilarious. I'm gonna send you the link to this on Twitter so you can scroll through it as well. But it is the hashtag why I got kicked out of Disney, and it's just essentially these people are telling wacky stories of them getting kicked out of Disney's theme parks. Now let me see. How do I do this? Okay, no, wait, hold on.
Honestly, that sounds like a subreddit I would spend hours on.
And I kind of feel like I'm gonna be reading through a lot more of these once this recording is over. But it's fun. It is. Hold on, let me send this so you can see it. I said paste. Gracias. There we go. It says.
This is gonna be glorious.
It really is. I guess at this point of this part, we're just going to read through them because these people are insane. It's like the first one I see. Why I got kicked out of Disney? When I die, I want my remains scattered in Disneyland. And also, I don't want to be creeped. What's that even supposed to mean?
That's one that I've seen on like the Disneyland creepypastas and stuff. I've seen that comment before. Fun fact, I'm pretty sure this was like a little bit before I was born, but my dad actually worked for Disneyland as part of their security.
Oh, what? Like in Disneyland or Disney World?
Disneyland.
Ooh.
Yeah, California.
Oh, gotcha. That's pretty dope. Like working, I feel like like I don't know why. Like for a while, I've always wanted to be a mascot at Disney, especially Mickey, because I can pull the voice off. Hello, ha ha ha.
He told me that those suits were like ungodly hot.
I could believe it, especially if you're, like I live in Florida, and and Disney World here is huge, and people in these costumes, I'm pretty sure they're sweating. They have to stay in character the entire time.
Exactly. There are like places that they can go into that the public aren't allowed, but they absolutely cannot be seen out of costume or out of character to the general public. That's like automatically they get fired for that. So.
Yep, because the whole point, there's supposed to be these characters for these children. For these children, there's supposed to be these characters. Another one. I kept calling this guy Pluto instead of Pluto.
These are great. They're so raunchy, though.
Susie was assaulting Peppa Pig, and I fought her to defend my queen. Man, people are I went around spreading the tea about Pocahontas and John Smith. Ain't no love story. But these people are just ruining childhoods, telling oh no, this picture, I just analyzed the picture that they used. Oh no. They're using 12-year-old Pocahontas and 30-year-old John Smith.
Because I suggested they bring back Disney Rewind. Oh, geez.
Oh man, what else they got? I guess that was talk loudly about the Lion King tipped off Kimba the White. What?
I challenged the Yeti to baseball at the Matterhorn. The Matterhorn, oh my god. So, funny story about that, I was about 6 or 7 when I was at Disneyland with my dad. And I was terrified of the Yeti, right? Did not want to go on the Matterhorn. No way, no how, not happening. The Yeti scared the heck out of me. So my dad, being who he was, he said that they had removed the Yetis and that there were no more Yetis. So it was just a fun roller coaster, right? So my little 6-year-old, okay, I'll go with it. Yep, nope, there were Yetis. There were definitely Yetis.
Like the first time I actually went to Disney was last year when I was 24. I would say it was some work. It was a nice place to be, and it's an experience I would say everybody should be able to have at least once. But being at Disney is basically like being in another country.
Yeah,
Forget being in another state. You're like, they got their own rules. Apparently, they got their own currency. I'm pretty sure they had that in Disneyland. Like, had some Disney dollars. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if they still have the Disney dollars, but I definitely remember that.
Yeah, that's just from what I've heard. Like, Disney says it's just own place. But I walking around, experiencing the sights, saw the castles, went on some of the rides. It was lit. As a 24-year-old, I wouldn't say I will go. No, I won't say that. I'd go again. Definitely not by myself. I get lost in there. I almost got lost the first time I went. But
the lines can be exhausting.
Yeah, they are. And the number one turnoff is how expensive Disney is in comparison to other theme parks. Other amusement parks aren't. Sure, they're expensive because you need a lot of money to keep that stuff running. But Disney takes it to a whole other level with how much their stuff costs.
Disney as a theme park is a little bit overrated.
As a theme park, I would say that, yeah, I would agree. I've been to, when it comes to amusement parks and going on rides, I'd take King's Dominion or Six Flags over Disney.
I went to Six Flags once. Knott's Berry Farm in California is probably one of my favorite.
Yeah, I have never, well, I wouldn't say that. I've spent most of my life on the East Coast, so I haven't, excuse me, I haven't been into many theme parks. I would say the first roller coaster I've been on, I was in Germany, and I was like 5 or 6 at the time, and theme park was called Europa Park. Yeah, I still remember that name, but it was, I just remember going on a roller coaster. It had loops too, but I was just staying straight faced that entire time. I didn't show any sort of excitement. I was just a little 6-year-old bitter child. I don't know. I don't know why. I was just straight faced for the entire ride. I guess I didn't want to show fear. I don't know what happened, but that's my first experience with a roller coaster, being unentertained. Even though I'm pretty sure if I would have went on now, I would have enjoyed it. I love me some roller coasters.
My first experience with a roller coaster, again, had to do with my dad. I was like 5 years old. It was actually at Knott's Berry Farm. The Jaguar, to be specific.
Ooh, sounds like a fun ride.
It's probably one of my favorite roller coasters at this point. I absolutely love it. But at the time, I was like 5, and I was terrified of the idea of a roller coaster. Didn't want it. No, thank you. I'll stay on solid ground.
That's like my brother and my mom. They don't do roller coasters.
Well, he wanted to go on the roller coaster, so he told me that it was bumper cars up there until it was too late.
Bumper cars on a whoa.
You just hear, as the ride's getting ready to take off, you just hear this little 5-year-old go, "Daddy, this isn't bumper cars, is it?" Yep. So that was my first experience with a roller coaster.
I mean, I love going on roller coasters, going to theme parks, and I'll get onto like some of my favorite ones after I say this. Like each time, I just remember each time in middle school and high school when we would have field trips to these theme parks, every single time I would always have a headache when I went to not even going on the rides, when I went to the theme park. So I couldn't even enjoy all the rides to the fullest. I still went on them. It just made my headache worse. But I just wish that at some point I wasn't sick when I was going on a field trip. Especially
that's such a bummer.
Especially to amusement parks. But I still went on them, and I don't regret those decisions. But I would say my favorite right now, my favorite theme park is still King's Dominion, even though I haven't been in years. But I remember the Dominator. With a name like that, you know it's gotta be good. And
Exactly.
remember when it first came out, went on twice in a row. I blacked out twice in a row in the same spot too. But it was great. Then there's the it's still the same theme park, the volcano. The lines were always that line went pretty quick because the ride itself was pretty quick. And the volcano, it wasn't the one that was you always just climb. It was like a immediate start. I love those. There was one. I don't remember the name, but it was an indoor roller coaster and it was dark too. What was the name? I don't remember, but I love it. That was also one that started immediately. You also have the operators who pretend to count like 5, 4. You try to fake you out, all that fun stuff. So a lot of the better memories are at an amusement park. Six Flags, Busch Gardens, Hershey Park. I'm good time. If you can go to an amusement park based on chocolate and candy, that is a dream.
We had one, based on Legos.
Oh, you got Legoland?
Yep.
Same. Got Legoland here. I haven't been. Like people who told me about it were to say that it's normally just meant for kids. At least the one here in Florida, it's more geared for kids.
Yeah, it was pretty mediocre. So, if you were to get kicked out of Disney for some reason, what would that reason be?
Oh my ooh, didn't really think about that one. Probably walking up to Mickey and trying to make fun of him until he breaks character. In his voice, like, "Hello, what are you doing there? I'm the real Mickey Mouse. Ha! Oh, you wanna go, buddy? Go there. Oh, Donald, I'm the real Mickey Mouse. He's Mortimer Mouse. I'm the one drawn by original Walt Disney. I'm the one voiced by Walt Disney. The House of Mouse, that's mine. His hat isn't even real. Do you have a tail? I don't think so. This is Ratatouille, not Mickey Mouse." Probably just follow him around, harass him all day.
Those guys are so stoic, though. Those guys are like those guards. Those over in, what, Europe?
Mm-hmm.
They're so stoic.
Like the Bobbies. Bobby. All right. Your turn. What do you get?
I would get kicked out for tossing the giant squid from the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride back into what is now the Finding Nemo ride.
What will motivate you to do that? Like just to scare the kids? Say like.
They need to be traumatized like I was as a 4-year-old.
I can appreciate that. Kids need to know fear, because a lot of these kids these days have no fear, and it gets them in trouble. It makes them say things that they shouldn't say. So a little traumatization. Nothing major. Just a little giant squid tentacles on their face.
One of my earliest memories, because my parents took me to Disneyland when I was 4 years old. One of my earliest memories was being on that ride and enjoying like the whole underwater feel of it, and then all of a sudden there's a giant squid eye right in my face.
Like, I'm pretty sure it was mechanicals, like, what's the word? That's the word. Animatronic squid, right?
Oh yeah. And the interesting thing is they actually kept a lot of the animatronics going for years and years after they shut down that ride. Mostly because the monorail went over it.
Yeah. I mean,
so it just made it look really scenic, and it also kept those parts in working condition for when they like reskin stuff.
No, I just realized what I would do. Forget the Mickey Mouse stuff. That would be a backup plan. The original, I would go into the Pirates of the Caribbean ride and just be a real pirate, not even animatronic. I'll just be there. Yar. Swab the deck, landlubber. Yar. Yo, and a bottle of rum. Avast, ye landlubbers! I see ye have purchased the tickets of Disney. Enjoy this ride, for I shall give you a shower of rum. Yar.
Did you know that they actually, in the old days, they actually used real bones for that ride?
Oh well, I did not know that. I thought they were gonna give me lessons on pirates, but no, I did not know that. Pause, rewind, give me a history lesson.
So back in the day, it wasn't illegal to use like bones that they got from donated cadavers for that reason. They definitely pretty soon started switching to fake. But there's like rumors that there could still be a couple of like human bones still in there, because it wasn't at the time, it was easy to come by cadaver bones that the scientists didn't need anymore.
Like how how long ago? Like when they first making that ride?
Yeah, this was like early when the ride was first around.
All right. I'm thinking, cause I got a Disney magazine over there, and it went over the history of it. So I'm probably guessing like 19. I just gotta remember when Disney World for Disneyland first came about, cause that was the first one. Probably like 50s maybe. I don't remember.
Something like that.
Yar. That
But yeah, that was an interesting fun fact. I really like listening to like the Disney fun facts about the park and whatnot. Like, I really like all the rumors about what is it?
Like Walt Disney's head cryogenically frozen, cryogenically frozen.
Yeah, like that, or the speculation behind why their water park was shut down.
Oh, yep. Oh, yeah.
Fun fan theories.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna look up a few of them before we switch over to the final talking point. Let's see if I can find some fun theory. Man, I don't care about these myths. They're boring. Hold on. Let's take this myths and facts. Yar. Hey. Oh, I'm scrolling down now. Hey. Don't care. 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 All right, urban legends. Here we go. Here we go. No one can die at Disney. That's the wrong one. Okay, we already know about Frozen Head. Ooh, here's a cool one. She is currently taking a break, so I will resume when she returns. But hope you guys are enjoying this section. This episode on the podcast. Is nice having a freaking guest that I'm not alone. And it's nice having some conversation. Really makes things a lot more entertaining. I can't talk to myself the entire time. Welcome back. I was trying to fill in the gaps while you were gone, but I was just looking for some myths before we switch over. And
there's a lot of them. There's a lot of really cool ones, especially to do with like all the staff tunnels and whatnot.
I think I heard something about that. Here's one said that the haunted mansion scared somebody to death. And the story goes, the haunted mansion opened in 1969, giggity, but some say that an earlier version of the ride was so terrifying that a man invited to a preview of the attraction suffered a heart attack and died. Due to the unfortunate circumstance, Disney ordered the ride toned down to prevent anyone else from being scared to death. The truth. There's no evidence to support that anyone ever died in the haunted mansion, though an 89-year-old woman did break her hip getting off the dune buggy once.
That's funny because that's one of my favorite rides. I absolutely love the haunted mansion. It's great.
Anything involving haunted, I'm all for.
In California, the Thunder Mountain roller coaster had several deaths.
Had what?
There were several deaths caused by the Thunder Mountain roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
As well as they had to redesign and re-release Space Mountain. I had actually ridden the Space Mountain before, it a whole lot safer, and it's a lot better now. A lot better now.
Yeah, and this next one goes with the Bones story you were mentioning. The Pirates of the Caribbean attraction is a hotspot for rumors. According to legend, Imagineers decided to use real human bones when constructing the attraction because the fake bones didn't look, well, dead enough. Supposedly, they got the bones from UCLA Medical School. One skeleton reigned over this treasure, yar. Two played a game of chess, and another met his end when he was struck with the sword. They say the skeletons remained for many years until they were eventually swapped with fake ones. However, some believe that skulls and crossbones behind the skeleton lounging in the bed were real. As cast members supposedly told a Disney blog that the Disney dose that the skull was real on video. Oh, so they never said that any were fake. So wait, hold on. The story continues. Thanks to rule break. It could technically be true that the dead body located on the property thanks to a rule-breaking guess. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Now spreading ashes. Don't care. Bones are there. I'm gonna believe it. My friends don't lie to me. They're bones.
I thought that was really neat. And, like, I thought it was a cool repurposing. I mean, personally, I would absolutely sign a waiver to let Disneyland use my bones in a ride. That'd be rad.
Be like, just come back as a ghost. There's my beamer.
See See that? That's mine. That's mine.
Just poking them.
Is she always on the ride?
Who's on the ride? Hey, that's new plans for the afterlife. Just haunt the haunted mansion, and pretend to be a hologram, but you know the truth.
That would be so fun.
That'd be a hilarious job for the afterlife. All right, but now for the final topic of discussion. Oh snap! Hold on. I had to look at my clock. We've been talking for almost an hour and a half. Oh well, keep going. The last one, not so funny matters, because apparently Forever 21 is accused of fat shaming after they put diet bars with plus size orders. So that is, yep, fat shaming after mailing diet bars with orders, including plus size. That is not cool. Everybody has a body of their own, and they sometimes they can't help it. Some people are big and beautiful. Some people are big and not beautiful, but that's not the point. The point is that seriously, like a corporate store should know better, especially if they want customers. Like,
that is absolutely harassment. That should not be a thing, and whoever was in charge of mailing those out should be promptly fired. But while we're on the topic of Forever 21,
go for it.
they're not, in my opinion, a very reputable company or a very morally correct company.
Explain, cause I guess I would say I've probably been to a Forever 21 once, and it's not even for anything for me. So I am completely cut off from Forever 21 or essentially any clothing store news. So share.
They're incredibly known for stealing the work of little-known artists and reselling it in their stores.
Oh,
and
not cool.
because so many of these smaller artists don't have the money to go after them for copyright laws, they get away with it all the time, and they refuse to change. So personally, I don't shop there for that reason. The fact that they've been doing that fat shaming thing just is another coffin.
Yeah, another nail in the coffin. Yep, I hear what you're saying. Like, there's a lot of clothing brands that just been under fire within the past few years, just for doing stupid stuff. And like, from a business standpoint, none of the stuff that they're doing makes any sense, regardless of whoever CEO, whoever owns it, regardless of what their personal beliefs are. From a business standpoint, you gotta cater to everybody.
Exactly.
No matter.
It's really just, they're so frustratingly poorly done. Like, and their size, a lot of the time their sizes aren't very true either. So like, what would be considered plus size to them is anything large and above, really. I, at one point, a friend had gotten me a shirt there, and like, I'm a small to extra small. This was a small that was too small for me.
That's okay. That just knowing you, that's saying something.
Exactly.
I am
5'0", 89 pounds. So there's no reason that a small should ever be too small for me.
For real, and it even in this article, it just says like the clothing store is just popular among teenage girls, and if that's their main demographic, sure, fine, whatever. But even still, most teenage girls aren't that small.
Exactly. They definitely are known for fat shaming. They're known for artwork stealing. They're known for a lot of not so great things. So they're up there as far as bad companies with like Dolls Kill for me.
You know, man, really can't be fat shaming people, especially today's day and age when a lot of people are super sensitive. Like the person who got that diet bar in their order, they seem like they're pretty confident enough, but you can't be doing stuff like this because it can. People already have a screwed up perception of what being beautiful is, especially when it comes to their body size. And when corporate companies like this, send messages that crush their self-esteem, that can have terrible effects, not just for them, but it's a ripple effect that can lead to a lot of things worse. Even if, let's just say, it wasn't the company's fault, it was just a prank that an employee pulled. That still looks horrible on the company, especially if they already got such a negative reputation for doing just stupid stuff.
Exactly. You are a representative of the company that you work for. You need to behave like it. And if this were like an isolated incident, I would be like, oh, well, is somebody trying to, stir up a lawsuit? But because they have such a history of being just a toxic company in general, I tend to believe that this is something they've been actually doing.
Yep, I can totally see that. Like, even I can't really speak too much on this, or on the whole fat shaming thing, because it's something I've never personally experienced. I've never been above 140 pounds, and I've always been stupid scrawny, even though I embrace that now. But it's still body shaming, still telling people that they don't look, that they don't since they don't prescribe to a certain appearance, then they're essentially wrong.
Exactly, and because it is geared towards especially teenage girls.
Oh yes.
And they're at such a delicate point in their self-esteem development, that can have such a negative impact that lasts for their entire lives.
Yep. Teenagers.
That can knock them right down.
Teenagers in general are a wreck. Now, let's just say like a 16-year-old girl got this in the mail. Got like a diet bar in the mail. That can seriously screw her up.
Yeah,
that can screw anybody up.
No company should be behaving like they're still in high school.
For real. But in all honesty, high school drama never really leaves high school. Like, I saw a picture like a few months ago, and it just essentially said like, grown folk business is just essentially it's just essentially pettiness. And I sort of agree with that. Adults can be super petty, and I'm not gonna take myself out of that equation. I know I can be stupid petty at times too, and I'm not necessarily ashamed of that. But
it's human nature. It's definitely human nature to be kind of petty, especially at certain points. Like I get hella road rage.
Oh,
when
same.
I'm driving and somebody drives up to try and cut into traffic, I'm liable to not let them over.
I do some exact same thing or something similar. Somebody trying to get in front of me, I see them speed oh now you want to try to speed up? Nuh-uh. So I just speed up and yeah, that's what I thought. You staying back there. I do a little petty stuff like that, but when I'm stuck in traffic, even though I haven't been stuck in traffic in a long time just because I live super close to my job, but I just remember when I used to live with my parents and my job was like an hour and a half away, traffic was always intense, and I would lose it every day because of just how traffic was. And I'm normally pretty patient now when it comes to drivers.
Exactly. It's so hard. It's so hard to step back out of yourself and be like, okay, well, other people have things going on.
Mm-hmm.
They might be trying to get somewhere super urgent that's actually important, or we don't really know. We're not in their shoes, so it's really hard to step back and be like, maybe I shouldn't do this. But especially in a work situation like Forever 21, there should be super big consequences for not being able to uphold a code of morality that way.
Yep. So I'm just gonna say, just from what I think, I just want to say that it was probably more likely a prank from one of the employees, and not something that Forever. I just want to say not something that Forever 21 actually abides by, but they still need to be held. It's still their employee, and they still need to be held responsible for that.
Exactly. They need to be held responsible for that, and just as a company, they need an overhaul as far as morals anyway, so I doubt anything major will be even done to the employee that probably did it.
Right.
Which is a major bummer. It's very disheartening. I mean, inherently, money is evil, and therefore all companies are technically evil, but we strive to be as good as possible while still being companies.
Yep. That's why when I get this money, I'm not gonna be selfish. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna inspire. And I'm just saying all this stuff because I'm poor right now. But I, truth be told, I just aspire to be better and to make others better.
Poor people make the best philanthropists.
For real, cause we know what it's like.
Exactly.
All right, that's it for the serious stuff. Now it's time to get into the final segment that's been going on, which is popular opinions. And I've been told that my lovely guest here, most of her opinions are unpopular. So
Usually.
we're gonna ladies first. We're gonna start with you. Name an unpopular opinion that you have and explain if you can.
Oh my gosh, ones that I haven't said already?
Yeah.
Let me think. Unpopular opinion? I think that a lot of what's going on in politics is just divisionary tactics.
Yeah. Like just from like you say, just like on, let's just say on the spectrum, just both sides, just one side's wrong, I'm right, vice versa.
Because there is so much gray in everything, but the media pushes so hard for us to have you're either blue or red. Are you a Republican or are you a Democrat? I can't date you if you're a Republican. I can't be friends with you if you're a Democrat, blah, 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 blah. It's sectioning off people.
Yeah, I can't really speak too much on it because my job really makes me have to bite my tongue. So I just have to be careful with what I say, but it is true that like for the longest time, America becoming super hyper partisan on either side. Doesn't matter who you are. I'm right, you're wrong, and here's the reason why. Bam, bam, boom. So, yep, you're super correct in that.
There's so much like violence being incited, especially as of late. Like we all know that, for example, Nazis are bad, but no, that doesn't mean go out and punch everybody you think might be.
Yeah. Yep. You don't just go hitting anybody because that's still, don't go assaulting people because that's still illegal even if you don't agree with what they're saying.
Yep, blind violence is not okay.
Yeah.
Another unpopular opinion.
Well, yeah, just before I get into mine, I just want to just essentially elaborate on what you said, but basically just inciting violence just because you don't agree with somebody. When people think of the freedom of speech, it can be, people tend to abuse that and think they can say whatever they want without being held accountable for it. And I'm not saying just because somebody says something you don't agree with, go and hit them. But the First Amendment really is, and when it comes to free speech, really only keeps the government out of your opinions and feelings. You can say whatever you want and the government can't take any action against you for that. But that doesn't mean any other person on the street can't hold you can't try to hold you accountable for that, or any private practice outside of the government can't hold you accountable for that. So let's just say, I'm just for example, Chick-fil-A. That's a private business, and they've been super. Their stance on homosexuality is known. The government can't really do anything about that because it's a private business, and whoever's in charge, his beliefs, he's free to do that whatever they want. So that's just little.
Hobby Lobby is another one that's very similar in that sense. And no, they don't have to, like, for example, Hobby Lobby's big thing is in their benefits, they don't cover birth control. And they're free to do that, but they're going to lose a lot of business that way.
All these people just doing just because. If you want business, you gotta be smart.
You gotta put your.
You can be bigoted, but you gotta be smart if you want money.
Exactly. You need to put your opinions on certain topics to the side if you wish to be successful. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
Yeah, you gotta you can again believe whatever you want, keep it inside. But if you want that money, you gotta cater to everybody. Everybody. All right. I'll say my unpopular opinion. I guess that's just on a whole lot lighter note. I like banana flavored candy. Banana flavored candy is delicious. Banana Laffy Taffy. Banana Runts. They get so much hate for no reason. Why do people not like banana flavored stuff?
I like banana flavored things.
I believe it. Bananas are delicious. They are the fruit. They are the fruit of life. If Jesus came through with the fruit, he'll come in with the banana in one hand and watermelon in the other one. Watermelon and banana, I want to say together are delicious, but banana candy goes. I'm getting real passionate right now. I'm about to have tears rolling down my eyes because it gets so much hate.
I had a banana peanut butter smoothie for breakfast, so.
Ooh, that sounds fire. That sounds fuego.
I love bananas. I think you are absolutely right. Banana flavored candy is fantastic.
Like, not only is it great, it's one of my favorites. I'll say it's like top 3, top 2. Number 1 is watermelon. I love watermelon flavored stuff. And number 2, and bananas right underneath.
Watermelon's probably my favorite. My second favorite is sour apple.
That's a popular flavor among sweet lovers. Oh,
I'm a sucker for sour.
Sour. What's your favorite? Do you like warheads?
I used to. I haven't had a warhead in a really long time. I used to eat those Zots all the time. They would come in like a strip, and they had like, you know, cherry flavor, apple flavor.
I think I know what you're talking about. Sounds like an old school candy though.
Oh, they're so good. They're so good. I think they are pretty old school. But they'd have like this sour filling inside of them. They were fantastic. That and the sour geckos. I loved the sour geckos.
I can dabble in some little bit of sour. Like, even though if I eat too many sour Skittles, it hurts the roof of my mouth. Like, they do too much. But with warheads, those are some. As a kid, those were like that was like the ghost pepper challenge.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they were like, you know, in jalapenos as a kid.
Like those warheads were powerful. Like, I was just at the store yesterday, or like 2 days ago, and I saw packaging and it looked similar to warheads, but it wasn't. They're called hotheads. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were. They probably changed the name, maybe because war. I don't know. People are too PC right now, but I didn't get them because I'm an adult. I'm not strong like that anymore.
Not as adventurous anymore.
Oh,
They used to have an old candy that was like liquid that was sour called like Squeeze something.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yes. What other unpopular opinions you got?
Oh boy, I'm trying to think of like lighter-hearted popular opinions now. Um,
Don't be afraid. Don't feel like you have to bite your tongue.
uh,
Which is a safety hazard. Don't bite your tongue.
exactly. I think grass lawns are incredibly stupid. I don't know why people are so obsessed with having like pristine grass lawns. To me, that seems like such a waste of land. Because they don't actually use grass or grass clippings for like anything. It's just there.
Yeah, normally you just cut it, put it in a compost or something, and just go about your day.
It's such a waste of land though. There's so much so much other things that people could be doing.
I mean,
That
go ahead.
you could turn if you're an animal lover, you could turn your piece of land into a mini preserve, or use it for more architectural superior things than just grass.
I mean, usually when people have a lawn, I won't say usually, but that's usually just for the kids. Essentially, it's just usually when people have a lawn, they have a bit like a family home. They have children. Just send your kids out to play, and it's just an easier way just to watch them until they're old enough to just to venture out on their own and get into all kinds of trouble by their little bad selves. I remember.
Well, see, and I love the parents who engage with their kids and make all the interactive obstacle courses in their backyards. I think those are so cool.
Yep.
Like, if you're super into like soccer or football or something like that, I could understand having the yard with grass. But it's like everybody has a grass lawn, and I'm like, why?
I'm just thinking about it. Like, I've never even thought that thought never crossed my mind. Like, why people have a lawn, but just thinking about it now, what really would adults do on a daily basis or fairly regular basis in a front lawn? Backyards, I can understand. For your kids, have a pool or whatever. You can do a lot more with a backyard than you do in the front yard. Right.
As a kid, I was always super enchanted by all those houses that had like these immaculate front lawns that had like little mini universes as far as plants and stuff in them. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, it could be like an sort of like have like a garden out in front.
Exactly. Grow some of your own food. Cut some of your grocery bill. I live in an apartment, and right now I'm growing tomatoes, strawberries, mint, spinach, and cauliflower.
Ooh. Oh my, I have to come and steal some of your produce. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, grow some of your own food, and then you can cut back on your grocery bill and stuff instead of just constantly cutting grass.
But this is America. People like convenience. They're lazy. They'd rather get in their car, go to the grocery store, get a little cart they have to push and not even carry. They can get a cart, they can get a little basket, get some more exercise. But no, they get a cart. They wheel it down slowly in the aisles. They have to take their time figuring out what they want. They're like, do I want the pregu or the ragu, or do I want the $5 or the $6? But the $6 has 2 more than the $5, so it's a better deal. I have bad experiences with being behind grocery people.
Another unpopular opinion, I would rather spend a little bit of extra money for companies that use less packaging.
Okay. I never really experienced anything like that. Explain.
Well, because of the fact that, like, if you look at how many would you say bags of garbage do you take out a month?
A month? Ooh, that's a lot. I don't know, probably I know for me, I just live by myself, so it's not that much. Probably like between 6 to 8 bags.
Now, think about the fact that most of what's in those 6 to 8 bags is not going to go away. So multiply that 6 to 8 by 10 years.
It's still here.
Exactly. And it drives me crazy that people aren't more worried about like packaging and stuff like that, because yes, some of it's recyclable, but a lot of it's not recyclable. And so many companies use an outrageous amount of packaging for no reason.
Yeah.
I saw this product that was its gimmick was that it was fruit jerky.
What?
So it was a piece of fruit that was processed or compressed into looked like a strip of jerky.
Mm-hmm.
But it had all the packaging to make it look like jerky. Like an unnecessarily huge amount of packaging.
I could see how. Yeah, I could see how that would be a problem. For one, it's not cost efficient.
Exactly.
And like, two, they're not environmentally friendly. Especially, oh, my voice is cracked again. I already went through puberty, voice. Figure it out. But it's not environmentally friendly. We're already having environmental issues just based on the amount of waste we have. Companies, get smart. That's all we gotta say. Just get smart, cause I don't know if y'all like this planet, but I kind of like it. I like Earth is dope. Shout out to
Earth is pretty neat.
I like Earth. I like the blue-ish sky that we got going on. I like the water. I like the grass and the ground, walking around. Like I like the planet I'm living on. I don't want to do research on another planet that could potentially support life.
Maybe if we get there.
When we're already stop hitting my mic. When I'm already living here, living my sort of best life.
Exactly. It's really frustrating.
Like, why not work on? I don't know. I'm all for progress. All for moving forward. The next frontier. Space is dope. All of that. But why don't we fix what we have? Make sure what we have is working and sustainable now, before worrying about trying to live somewhere else.
Part of it is just that the human nature is to never be satisfied with what you have.
Right.
It's what propels people to achieve more and more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Why we chase money, why we chase, the pretty girls, why we are always after all these conquests. It's because we're never really satisfied with what we have, but we are also intelligent enough to step out of that instinct and be like, hey, wait a second, we need to take care of what's already here.
Yep. Yeah, there's some, we know there's a limit, and sometimes we try to cross that limit if it seems like we can be better, but when it just becomes basically asinine and unachievable, then we know we probably shouldn't cross that threshold.
Exactly.
Whew. Man, this last segment was supposed to be a little bit lighthearted, but we're still coming in with a good conversation, and I love it. I love having a discussion. It makes me feel like I'm growing, because I'm learning stuff I didn't know, and it's gonna help me get further.
I felt like the grass thing was a little bit more.
Hey, if you don't need the grass, you don't need grass.
Exactly.
And that's the slogan of today's episode. If you don't need grass, you don't need grass.
Exactly.
Well, I really don't have anything else I need to say. Do you have anything you want to say? Anything you want to plug or shout out?
I think I'm pretty good.
Sounds pretty freaking lit to me. So that's going to be today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you enjoyed this listening pleasure. Thanks again to my lovely guest. Hope she can come back soon enough. again.
I'd be happy to.
Yes! A potential co-host. I don't like doing this by myself. But anyway. Well, I'm not gonna say I don't like it. I like talking about different stuff, but she wants to be a co-host. That's her decision. Or she can just come back as a guest. It's her call. But thanks everybody for listening. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff.
Subscribe.
You heard the pretty lady. Subscribe. And if you're on Spotify and Google Play, rate it up, follow, whatever the mechanics are over there. I still haven't learned it yet. And I probably won't learn it for another few weeks because I'm lazy. But anyway, that's it. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, whenever you're listening to this. Bye.
Laters.